welcome everybody to the Hoop Chat. The Hoop Chat. Excited about this topic right here, dog. Let's go. I learned how to win in college.
Process, right?
Absolutely. Separate the men from the boys. It will separate the real from the fake. It will separate the committed from the uncommitted, who really loves the game and who really don't.
Your network equals your net worth. 25 years of experience.
Oh, man, yeah, let's get to work. Mm-hmm. Let's get to work.
Oh man, let's get to work.
Yes, sir.
What's up, everybody? It's another edition of the Hoop Chat. I'm your boy, Coach Nelly. I'm here with my man, Mars. You know how it is. You know how we do.
Yes, sir.
Providing you with the real content from hoop culture. Whatever you need, we got. What's up, bro?
Not much, man. Just chilling. Same old. Good week. That's all I got.
Same here, man. Yeah, I hear you. Good week, man. I just got one shout out, man. Got to shout out my wife. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary yesterday. 4 years down, 8 years together in total. That's my road dog right there. That's my baby, my boo. She's been in my corner since day one. She always supports me. She's a great motivator. So shout out to my wife. Love you, baby. And let's get to work.
Shout out to Jazz.
So there's been a lot of NBA movement going on.
It has been.
And the first one that pops to mind is CP3 gets traded to Phoenix, or he goes to Phoenix. What are your thoughts on this, bro? Does this make them a contender?
I don't think it makes them a contender, but I definitely do think that it's a very entertaining group of individuals. And to put CP3 in that mix, I think is a very good fit. And I mean, obviously, I'm going off of who CP3 is, but more so what he's been able to do, like in his change in roles, even from the Clippers to Houston, being able to play off the ball a little bit more, kind of asserting himself in different roles. Like I kind of talked about this a long time ago about his, I got a video on this, about his post-up ability. And seeing that, you know, he doesn't necessarily need to run the PNR every single time down the floor. I think that gives someone like Devin Booker more of an opportunity to roam and play in isolation and not have to work so much to generate offense, because I think he would have one of the higher usage rates in the NBA. So like just having him have to dominate the ball to manufacture plays for his team as well as for himself was just a load that I feel like was a lot for him, you know, and to now have CP3 to be able to orchestrate, and then, you know, obviously getting DeAndre Ayton easy buckets in that PNR situation, just, you know, being able to see CP3 probe and throw the lob or drop pocket passes down to him and let him finish those easy ones just gets his average up higher. So they got the 2, 3, and D dudes, long and lengthy on the wings, on the perimeter. So I just feel like that's going to be a very entertaining group of individuals. But I don't think that makes them a contender by any stretch. Don't think that they done though. They might do something. So there is a trade deadline. We only talking about free agency, so that, you know, there may be some more shuffling pieces, but they're definitely interesting. I'm gonna put a stay tuned on Phoenix.
I took it the other way, man. Like I'm a huge Chris Paul fan, especially for what he has done for the game. Mm-hmm. But I looked at it like this. When I put that, does that make them a contender? I don't think so. And I kind of felt with a guy like Devin Booker, he's looking for that, I'm trying to be a contender, right? And I'm not saying this is a bad move, Again, we don't know what else they're going to bring in. We don't know what else is going to happen in Phoenix. What I do like about it is the moment that this happened, them two got right in the gym together and started working. You know, that just shows the respect that they have for each other. They just show what type of players they are. It just shows you like, yo, they about that work. They want to win and compete. But I want to see Dev Booker in the playoffs, man, in a position to make a run. He's definitely one of my favorite players in the league. They should have been in the playoffs this year, my opinion. I mean, for them to go in the bubble and they had to win all 8 games, and that's exactly what they did. Speaks a lot about those players that they have. It speaks a lot about the coach.
For sure.
I mean, and we all watched and witnessed D Book put on a show in the bubble. So I'm kind of on the fence with this one, man. Like, my next question to you was like, does D Book stay? If they don't continue to make moves that are going to aid them to make and be a contender, because I think at this point for him, I mean, the man scored 70 in a game. Like, I don't think he needs to go out and prove that he could score the basketball. Like, he's that guy. Like, he's special.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point he wants hardware. He wants to be in the playoffs. He wants to be able to compete for championships. So, do you think he stays, even if they don't make any other moves?
I don't know if he would stay if they don't make any other moves, but I don't think that they're not. That's why I put a stay tuned on that.
Okay.
Here's the thing that I think is wrong with the argument, right? Because you said all he wants is a chance to contend or be able to be in the playoffs, and I think that's exactly what Chris Paul was able to do. And people had the same exact criticism of him leaving Houston and going to Oklahoma City. And we saw what he did in the bubble Oklahoma City. So with a bigger group of individuals, a little bit higher talent level, at least for where they are right now, I think that's exactly why it's a good situation for CP3, just because he's coming off a year where he's kind of proven to do that. And he's even gotten people like Dennis Schroeder paid. Not saying that Dennis Schroeder had to worry about CP3, but his ability to play alongside a guy who's ball dominant and still be, one of the better players at that position and efficient and effective, I think that's, again, why CP3 has a whole lot of value. And I think that's why it's a good situation.
Respect that, man. I mean, again, I'm a fan of CP3. I mean, again, what is he, 30, 35?
Yeah, that's a piece for D-Book.
No, absolutely. He hasn't played with a superstar point guard yet, right? And I think, especially, at this level, that's very important. I mean, at any level, a point guard position is very important, but to have a superstar Hall of Famer as your point guard, he's definitely going to grow mentally from this acquisition that they made. I guess I'm with you on, like, I'm on that stay tuned. Like, I want to see what else they do before I'm sold on this.
Sure.
I'm sold on this because they lost now. Because they lost Kelly, right? Oubre.
Yeah, he went to Golden State.
So yeah, again, we'll stay tuned, man. We'll see. We'll definitely revisit this in the next couple episodes after we see what moves that they make and things like that. But man, I as being a fan of D Book, I want him to win a championship. But I know he's still young, and I know he's got some time. So let's see. Let's see what they do, man.
Definitely always been a fan of D Book.
So you mentioned CP leaving Houston, so let's continue on that wave. The Nets are showing interest in James Harden. Will it work? I mean, if this goes down, the Nets basically told Houston, you could have anything you want except KD and Kyrie, right? And in my opinion, the pieces and players that they were willing to give up were very integral pieces for the Nets. And they proved how good they are by playing without either superstar this year, right? They showed like, yo, we're competitive. We got pieces. We just need that 1-2 punch. And I feel as though with KD and Kyrie, with the mix that they have around them now, that's a really good team to me. a really good team. They got glue guys. They got shooting. I even like they had a big shot blocker with Jarrett Allen in the middle, right? Somebody who could have a big presence. Guys like Dinwiddie and guys like LeVert have shown that they could be that third and fourth option. And when you got two superstars like KD and Kyrie, who can both have championship pedigree, they both understand what it takes, especially at that time of year, to make a run. And two guys that can score the basketball at will. I think that was a mixture for success there. In my opinion, I just don't see it working with James Harden because of the type of player that he is. A guy like KD at this point, coming off an Achilles tear, he don't need to be the guy that has the ball in his hand. He can score without the ball in his hand. He's proven that, right? He don't need to pound the basketball to get a basket. Plus, I would think at this point, it's like, I don't need to go out and prove I'm the scoring champ. I'm going to get mines regardless. I'm going to show up when it's most needed, especially in the playoffs, right? But when you got a guy like Kyrie, who has in his career had the basketball in his hand a lot, and then you add a guy like James Harden who's had the basketball in his hand a lot, I just don't think it leaves growth for the others. It kind of is, got to kind of fit in, get in where you fit in type mentality for the other people. And again, if they give up those players, who is the get in where you fit in guys, So in my opinion, I just can't see it working. That's just how I feel about it.
I'm gonna just say they signed back Joe Harris. They still got DeAndre Jordan. If I could get James Harden, I would obviously have to have serious conversation with all three of them, because all three of them are going to have to sacrifice in some regard. But if they're bought into that idea, I'm getting Harden. I just feel like you win with superstars, and all things being considered at this point, those are the only things that really evade someone like James Harden. I mean, Kyrie and KD, KD got two, Kyrie got one, but, Harden doesn't have any. So I think the only thing left for those guys anyway, KD is going to get 25 a night in his sleep just playing in that pinch post area without having to work. Kyrie is going to get a lot just with finishing at the front of the rim. So, that leaves someone who shoots a lot of threes like James Harden open to play that isolation if he wants to, because driving angles are available and post-up angles, and playing without the basketball is available. And I think that you can manufacture something if you're D'Antoni and Steve Nash that would give these guys opportunities to shoot the basketball and play their type of game however they want to play it. You know what I mean? Right. So I just think you get a bunch of talent, you go for it, see what happens. I would like to see it, I think it's nice to think that another dynasty could be created in Brooklyn, that rivals something like LA, and it could be Brooklyn versus LA in the finals. And I would really like to see what that looks like with us having who we've made. We'll talk about this a little bit, the changes that we made. That makes for a compelling situation for me. I'm a Laker fan, LA till I die, but it's just like, I want us to be competing against teams, to beat teams. I want to make people feel bad, like, we lost to the Lakers. Like, yeah, we keep beating you. You know what I mean? We dominated. So
right. Then you got to ask this question, bro. So, is James Harden a cancer? Because you don't think so? Because he's had pieces with him in Houston. Right. And it seems like they're all leaving, or they've all left, and the only common denominator is James Harden. And hey, listen, man, that man is amazing at what he does. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not a James Harden hater. Like, I don't think we've seen anybody that can score the ball in the way that he does. But as in terms of winning, there's just certain factors that certain players have and certain players don't. And we witnessed throughout NBA history, some of the greats just don't have that it to get over the hump. So yeah, man, I don't know. It would be interesting. I would love for a Brooklyn LA finals matchup. That would be really dope. That would be really dope. Especially for a city or a state like New York that hasn't had any positive sports anything in a while, right? It'd be great for them. It'd be great for KD, his storyline coming back from an Achilles tear in the finals to go back to the finals, right? So, and then you got the whole Kyrie Bron matchup and things like that. Like, it would be a great storyline. It would be great to watch. But it'd be interesting to see. I don't think in my opinion, I don't think this deal gets done. I don't think Houston is going to give up James Harden. We all know the Nets is willing to do whatever. Like, yo, you could take whatever you want. You could take the kitchen sink. You could take everybody but KD and Kyrie. I just don't. I think Houston, because they have the power in this situation, they hold on to him for as long as they can, and until they get what they want, whether it's from Brooklyn or another team.
And I think that's what's gonna make the deal happen. The deal is gonna be at least with a third or possibly even a fourth team. And I think that's how that situation is done. But I do think that it gets done, and I think it gets done before the trade deadline. I'm saying it. Okay. I'm saying I believe that he will start a Houston Rocket and he will end up a Brooklyn Net.
Okay. The man has spoken, y'all.
He said he won out. He gonna get out.
And he definitely said where he wanted to go too. I want to go to Brooklyn.
Well, I wanted to go to LA via Toronto. So
don't send me to no Minnesota.
Hey, I'll go win Brooklyn. I'll go win a chip and end up in Brooklyn.
Yeah, somehow, somewhere, I'm going to be in BK.
I'm going to be in Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie. For real.
So let's talk about our team, man. The Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes, sir.
They have been making some moves. They picked up Dennis Schroeder from OKC. They picked up Wesley Matthews from Milwaukee, and they picked up Trez. I've seen some funny memes about Trez. The funniest one, I said that he got called up to the varsity team, had me dying. Oh man. But what you think, man? How you like them pickups for us?
Man, Dennis Schroeder. Great pickup.
Schroeder.
Great pickup. I mean, on both ends of the floor. It's going to give us some scoring, going to give us some shooting, going to give us another dog, going to play D, going to be physical. Love it. Wes Matthews, he's a body. I mean, he's a body. You know, he's a 3-and-D dude. Defense more so than I would rely on the 3. But I like it. It adds some depth on the wing, you know. I'll package him and get him out of here if I could. But, you know, I would. That's just me personally. But getting Trez, Schroeder, Bron, AD, that's some dogs. And we'll be able to get after people on the most important end of the floor, and we out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Trez can handle. So Trez can snatch off the rim and play a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, his isolation game has developed tremendously from where he's come. He's actually definitely a threat. He wants to post and call for the basketball. He's asserted himself in that way on the offensive end. I love it. He fit right in. I love to see him and Markieff battle it out. I love to see those practices between those dudes. I think that, again, adding someone like Wes Matthews can learn, can play, can compete with J.R. Smith. You know, I like what we getting, man. I like that. I mean, Kuz, you're gonna have to work. You know, Kuz gotta get a better identity of like just buying into what's going on, because you know, you could be a perennial all-star, bruh, on a championship team. And yeah, while people may think you can't do this, this, and this, you still young. So if you want to prove that you want to be that guy, win some chips right now, go do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. But yeah, I love the moves, you know. My man, you know, Mr. Palenka. He pulled the
Rob
Geppetto.
Rob.
And it's cool. Him and Bron, hey, if you want to say that, you know what I mean? Cool. Whatever. Bron picking his team. I like what's happening.
He winning chips, ain't he? I mean, but
all right, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about in the past. I'm talking about now. Like Bron gets the players that he wants, but it's funny, man. And God rest his soul. But this is what Kobe said: like, let Rob do what Rob does. Right? A lot of people. Rob took a lot of right. And it's like, yo, let this man work. Let this man make some moves. Like, you ain't going to be able to get all these players in one season. You know, it's over the period of time that things like happen. You got to clean up salary cap. You got to move pieces around to create opportunities for players to come in. I mean, so hats off to him, man. Like, these pickups just make us more gritty, more tough. I mean, they're all dogs. They're all dogs. I mean, even with Wesley Matthews, then you get a wing defender who will get up in guys.
Yes.
Not to mention he could shoot. He could shoot a little bit. I mean, so he does help spread the floor.
He's a veteran. He's played in big games.
Yep. You know, and Trez, man, like I can't wait. I can't wait because now this takes off some pressure off of AD.
That's it, dog.
Now,
that's it.
Yeah,
dog.
like now, like you got a dog and somebody who plays with so much energy all the time.
Right.
And it's like he's another one that's under Clutch Sports too. So you got to give out a big shout out to Rich Paul for making some of these things happen too.
Absolutely.
And for us losing Rondo, I think Schroeder is
comparable.
I don't want to use it now. Yeah, right. Because I don't want to use the word upgrade.
No.
I mean, because what you get with Rondo is I'm not.
You can't reproduce that. You can't. That's why Rondo's Rondo.
Right. But we got younger at that position. Schroeder showed us in the playoffs and all last year. I mean, he was runner up for sixth man, right?
Right.
So he showed. I mean, he's an 8-year veteran. He shows what he can do. He's also another dog that gets after it. So like you said, man, this is some good pickups for us. We got a little bit younger. We got a little bit more grittier. I think you mentioned Kuz. I think this would help him too. Being, because he's been a guy that his whole career has been that score mentality. And now it's like you're being put amongst the dogs. So two things are going to happen. He's going to evolve and become a dog, or he's just going to fizzle out and it's just not going to work for him in LA. But like you said, buy in. Kuz needs to buy in completely. Win himself some chips. He's only 23 years old. And then, like you said, this could lead to you being a perennial all-star. And who knows what your career pans out to be after this, because now with 2 or maybe 3 chips under your belt, you could go to another franchise and learn how to win and get that big contract.
Be that guy.
Get that big contract and be that guy.
Put the brakes on. Big contract. They are backing up the Brinks truck on a whole lot in free agency for a bunch of players who have not proven anything. And for this league to be giving out, these organizations are giving out this bread right now. They are throwing bread. When I mean, like Gordon Hayward, 20 mil, like
4 years. What has he proved to earn that type of check?
Ooh, dudes is getting broke off.
30 mil a year. That's crazy.
Dudes is getting broke off right now. This is the time. Cash in 2020. Cha-ching. Like, don't even matter. It's like, it's almost like this is just such an outlier year for free agency that, like, this is probably will never happen again, that people are going to be able to get such long-term contracts for the amount of monies that they were able to get. What, Gallinari got like $61 million for like 3 years? Woo, like, yo, what has Gallinari done? Like, all right, man, yo, dudes is getting a bag out here, bro, for real. I mean, it's
and who knows? In 2 years, it might even be a lot more. You never know, right? So, like you said, cash in while you can.
Can't be mad. Can't be mad.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. You know, hey, it is what it is. I guess they're giving out checks just based on nothing. You want to play here? Here you go. We'll give you some money. Word. What else we got? NBA free agency. You did mention Hayward, Gordon Hayward. Charlotte. Didn't they pick somebody else up?
Charlotte, right? I know they drafted LaMelo, but they picked somebody else up too.
Maybe I'm thinking of LaMelo. Let's talk about a little bit of the draft.
Yeah.
In my opinion, outside of the top three, like I knew the top three were going to go in the order that they did. I actually called that, right? I'm not sold on LaMelo Ball. Never have been.
Interesting.
We'll see what happens with that. I think him being the younger brother kind of plays a positive part in him, right? Just watching what happened in front of him. Got to give a shout out to his dad because he definitely he wore the hat and said, "I told you so." I mean, to have two sons, he did say, years back that all his kids were going to be in the NBA. And to have two sons that were in top three.
Top five.
I thought
it was
top three.
I thought LaMelo went three.
Top three.
Didn't he go three?
It was top three. Yeah, and Lonzo went two, right?
Right.
So you had two of your sons.
God.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, bro. Damn.
Yeah. To have two sons to be drafted in the top three, and I know his other son, Jello, is playing for a G League team. So, I mean, shout out for him for having that vision and pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just got picked up by a G League team.
I was going to say, was it the Mavericks G League team?
I want to say it's OKC's.
Okay. All right.
So just to put your son and children in that position and you believe as a father that you had a vision, you ain't care what people had to say about it. He went about it the way he thought was best for his kids. And the outcome is, look, I got my kids where I said I was going to get them,
Right.
So yeah, man, I mean, I actually like the number 2 pick. I like Wiseman. I've watched him for the last couple of years, just following high school hoops and college. I think he has a huge upside. I think he's going to be really good, especially a guy of that size and caliber to be in a team like Golden State, where he's going to learn how to play that system. But before we get into that, let's rewind, man, because that just made me think of Klay Thompson, bro.
I was going
to
I was going to bring him up
when
we were talking about dudes who got paid, because he's on a max contract and hasn't played in 2 years.
Oh, yeah. He's getting paid $66 million a year to not play, But
it's a shame.
Don't mean to go off topic, but that just made me think about Golden State and him. It is a shame, man. Like, here's a dude that was working his ass off to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm pretty sure he sat out a whole year, so I'm pretty sure his recovery from his ACL was, he was on track. I mean, he was back to playing and working out.
ACL, I'm sure he was ahead.
Right. Because nowadays with modern technology, those
Sure.
ACLs are, their recovery time is a lot faster,
Right.
and the success rate for those are a lot better. But it's a shame for a guy to have to go through something like that, especially now, tearing your Achilles and being somebody that experienced that. It's a shame, and I know the road that he has in front of him. I can't imagine mentally what that feels like to have already sat out for a whole NBA season due to an injury, and now you got to follow that up with another year out and an even crazier injury. And now he's got, I don't want to say he has two bum legs, but the injury did happen on the other leg. So it's just like, man, what does this do for his career moving forward? What does this do for Golden State and him moving forward? It's crazy, man. What you think about it, bro?
It's just really unfortunate for Clay, man. Just knowing that, it's a lot of speculation, man. Nobody can really explain these Achilles injuries. They sometimes, and most times that I've heard, have occurred with really nobody around. So it's kind of like, and it's not something that you can,
Why not?
say that you're doing something that's contributing to that. Like, yo, if you keep doing this movement, it's gonna happen. Or you know what I'm saying? Like they say maybe certain exercises put strains on certain ligaments that could lead to an injury due to the fact that you keep stretching it to this point or whatever it may be, right? But there's nothing that really kind of says that other than like overuse. And who can determine what overuse really is? Like, how do you put that on a scale of like, yo, you're overusing a certain mechanism in order to prevent yourself from this injury? You gotta not play. Is that basically what you're saying? Like you just don't play?
Right.
Like, and even if you limit the playing, is that to guarantee that that's not overuse? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's such a weird injury. To like say, oh, how do we prevent this from happening? Because we're starting to see this become in commonplace, much like we saw the ACL, you know what I mean, injury. Right? And it's like a debilitating injury for many athletes. I think once again, for the same reason that it won't hinder Clay as significantly as one would have thought it would hinder KD, their ability to shoot the basketball is uncanny. It's like you've never seen this before ever. One thing I will say is maybe, from a lateral movement perspective, he won't be as good, perhaps just because of the significant injuries that he suffered on both lower extremities, knee and now in the ankle area. So, but that doesn't mean anything because his other Splash brother has terrible ankles and has been a phenomenal position defender where he's always high in steals. So, if you know how to play the game, you know how, what you can do and what you can't do within the athletic, area or component. And then it's just also system. So, they may shift things and they may put those backline people who can give Clay more spurts so he doesn't have to guard Kawhi and Bron and, Tatum and on a back-to-back. You know what I mean? He may be doing that, but at spurts at a time. You know what I mean? Peace be with him, speedy recovery, healthy recovery. Just we in support of you, man. You gotta just, keep your spirits high one day at a time. Take the good with the bad, keep it moving. Progress, not perfection, and just, stay one foot in front of the other. And you'll be back on the court in no time. I'm sure of that. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. I was definitely looking forward to seeing, the Warriors play this year, primarily because I thought here's what was going to happen. I thought, they were going to draft Wiseman, but I also thought that they were going to either get back JaVale McGee or go after Dwight Howard. I know that they did I guess put calls into Dwight Howard or whatever. But, I thought that they were going to get a little bit more backline protection at the rim to take it off from, Draymond. But I thought that they were going to be able to do basically what they do, and it's unstoppable, really. And that's just putting Klay Thompson and Steph Curry in situations where they're running off 2 and 3 screens or running off of each other. And there's really nothing that you can do. I mean, it's pick your poison.
Right. Right.
So we'll see, Steph.
Yeah, definitely, man. Speedy recover for Klay. Just like you said, I think he'll be fine. Especially because he could shoot the damn basketball like no other. So he's not completely relying on his athleticism to play the game. So yeah, it will be interesting to see, man. But I think too, we're getting to a point with the Achilles tear that you'll start to see modern technology again start to be able to figure out how to get guys back to as close to 100% as possible. A great success story from Achilles tear is Rudy Gay. He was able to come back and be an effective basketball player. You know what I mean? And I do know that's who KD went and had his surgery by the same doctor that did Rudy Gay's. And he, was able to, from the reports that I've been reading, they say he's back. KD is KD.
Right.
So, speedy recovery to Klay. I'm sure he'll be fine. Just hopefully the mental side of it, he just surrounds himself with love and support that keep him focused, and he'll be back in no time, man. And I definitely want to see the Warriors be the Warriors again, because ain't nothing like watching Klay and Steph run around for screens for each other, watching them make those extra passes, knowing that you have to pick your poison. Am I going to give a wide open shot to Steph, or am I going to give a wide open shot to Klay? Who am I going to do that to? So,
or watching the Warriors be down 17 and then watching them go up 9
on a crazy run.
Right, yeah. They were just down 17, and now they're up by 9, and you're calling the timeout now.
Right.
It's crazy, man.
Speaking of the NBA draft, I have to give a shout out to Atlantic City's own Najee Marshall, man. That's huge.
Yes.
To have a person from our area,
representative,
a person from Atlantic City, to be able to show the youth that dreams are possible. And it worked out to his favor. No, he didn't get drafted, but it turned out to be a better situation for him because he got picked up right away as a two-way player, a two-way contract, So now this gives him more guarantee to be on the NBA roster and not get shipped down to the D League, the G League, or get kicked off the roster. So big shout out to him. He's in a good situation with the Pelicans because they're young. To fit in, he's a hell of a wing defender. He does a little bit of everything. So I know he's going to continue to work. And big shout out to Najee Marshall, man. And big shout out to Atlantic City to have one of their own in the NBA.
Word. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I hope that, you really relish that, because that means a whole lot. Done a whole lot of inspiring for a lot of people. And that's not just for basketball. That's for anything that they want to accomplish coming from where they come from. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Big facts. What we got next, man?
Understanding.
Let's break into
where we at? Think it's up, right? Yeah, there we is. There we are. There we go.
Understanding your role and being a star in your role. Championship pedigree. I'm gonna let you go ahead and start with this, brother.
It's I think understanding your role is number one. Understanding that it doesn't mean that you aren't capable. It just means that this is what's necessary in order for everything to work. You know what I mean? For us to be at a better level. Everyone.
Right.
So it
Right.
takes a level of sacrifice, right? So most people say, I think that's what it is. It's like ego, and it's also like thinking that a role means that you're not capable of doing, but it's just maybe that we don't need for you to do, right?
Right.
So
Right. Absolutely.
being a star in that role is just understanding what it takes to do your role and understanding that you're the only person who can do that. Right.
Right.
So it's like, instead of you looking at it from a perspective of, oh, they only want me to play D and shoot threes, but I could take people off the dribble. It's like, nah, yo, you're the only one who's capable of doing that. We don't need you to do that. We don't need 6 people to be able to do that. We got to take the person who's doing it at the best level, and then we got to focus on putting those other people around that can do what they need to do. So I think, just being a star is just, again, your approach towards understanding that every portion and every part is just as necessary. It's a team sport. And while people, most people say, football is the ultimate team sport, basketball is very much a team sport as well. From the perspective of the best teams usually win. Not just not the best players. You can have a collection of the best players and still lose to the best team. And the team is individuals who understand their role, understand the importance of their role, and how to execute and perform at the highest level at that role for your team. So you got that person who's the enforcer, who, is physical with people, especially from the 4 to 5 positions. And if you're a guard and, you got guys who can get by and guys who can get down and get into the paint, for certain teams, there's an individual who plays that physical role, who lets and fouls and lets people understand that they're not going to get easy baskets, so to speak. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's the role in and of itself. And to be a star in that role means that, you are the person who brings that to this team, that makes this team special, because now everybody else,
Right.
Responds to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's exclusive to you. You know what I mean? So I think that is essentially, what we saw missing with the Clippers team was people didn't necessarily understand their role and become a star at their role. They want to talk about chemistry and all of these different things like that. And I don't really want to hear about chemistry when it comes down to putting 5 players on the floor and doing what's right. Y'all know that. You know what I mean? Like, who should be taking shots. You know what I mean? Who is not bringing the defense, from a multiple effort standpoint. You know what I mean? Than the other players, and just call them out, and we filter that out, and we move forward. But I think it's just understanding that, man, that every single part of the team, no matter what it is, their role is important. The people who, you look at the collegiate levels, they think they're staffs. They think they're trainers. They think the, people who, the equipment managers. They thank all of these people as a part to them winning whatever it may be. A national championship, a bowl game, we've all heard those different things of the different people that people thank en route to their success. And that's partly because they understand that it's a whole thing, not just a piece or just one part of things. You know what I mean? And
Right.
some maturity.
Absolutely, man. For me too, like, I've experienced all different types of roles playing this game. I've been the guy, the scorer. I've been the guy on the bench. I've been 6 man, like, so I've experienced every role. And I remember when I came to college, being a kid that was being recruited by D1 schools, and because of situation, I had to go to a D2 school. My mentality coming in was like, yo, I'm about to be the man here. You know what I mean? And it wasn't that. It was, yeah, you might have been a D1 guy, but first of all, take a look around you. You're surrounded by a bunch of other could have been D1 guys. So it's just not you, one. And my coach told me, you're just not ready defensively to play at this level for what I need.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, you're not going to be a starter, but this is what I need from you. I need you to be that spark off the bench that brings energy. I need you to be able to knock down open shots. And I don't care if that's 15 minutes of play, 20 minutes of play, or you're getting 5 minutes of play. Your role and your intensity should never change. And I had to buy into that because I wanted to play. Like, nobody wants to sit on the bench, right? Nobody wants to sit on the bench and not play. Whatever amount of time you get, you want that time. So I had to understand what my role was at that time. I had to buy into my role.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, like, you start to see, like, yo, all right, cool. I'm not the one that's getting all the shine. I'm not out here scoring 20 points a game, but I understand that I'm a very important piece to this team. I understand if there's no me and what my role is, well, there's no we. We're not going to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, when you get a team that is completely bought in and everybody understands what their role is and they're not worried about playing time and the only goal is to win, it's when something special happens. When you got guys that are the 12th man on the bench and they know they're not getting the game and they bring it every day in practice because they know that's their role. Like, yo, I'm going to compete against the starters every day. And I might not see no time and I might not get no shine in the papers. I might not get recognized, but those guys that are getting that recognition know what's up. They know that without me, that they're not going to be successful.
Right.
And as you go up in levels, bro, like, you see it, like, on the NBA level. Like, I just read a tweet from Jared Dudley, and he said, I hope all you young hoopers are paying attention to what's going on. There's only 1 or 2 stars on a basketball team, right? There's only 1 or 2 superstars. But if you can play defense and guard multiple positions, if you can make plays for others and you can shoot the ball, you're going to find yourself on a roster.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find yourself on a team because that's important, right? From a coach's standpoint, like, I think it's huge that you get kids to understand this part. And we've talked about this on previous pods. Like, it's important for kids, especially younger kids, to understand that you don't need to be the guy. Be you. Be a star at what you do. You look at a guy like Draymond Green. Is he a superstar? Is he out here getting 30 a night? Nah, but he is a star at what he does. A star. He's a dog defensively. He takes pride in that. He's going to be a guy that's going to get you rebounds. He's going to push. He is going to set great screens for the guys to get open that need to get open. He's accepted that of who he is, and that ultimately he's a integral piece of all their championship teams. Integral, right? They don't win without him because I'm a star in my role. I've accepted who I am, and I'm going to be great at what I do. So if you're a great defender, if you're a good defender, buy into that and become a great defender. If you're a guy that just knows, like, listen, I'm not a guy that can go out and shoot off the dribble and shoot shots, but I know that I'm very good at understanding plays and reads. Be great at that. Be great at that. Because if you're great at your role and everybody's great at their role, it's going to equate to being on a great team.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I think I definitely experienced the same thing you experienced going to college, just ego check. But, I think I was lucky to have some leaders, and some leaders helped me understand their journey, and their experience, because very similar to yourself, like going to school, I'm going as a Division I interest and offers that didn't work out to me going to a Division II school and being in a situation where I had that same mentality. I'm better than these dudes or whatever. And you get there and you're like, oh, they were D1. You know what I mean? Like, they were already there. And they were much better than me. And you know what I mean? It's that recognition of like, okay, but for them to explain, I was where you was at. I see the potential in what you can do. this is what I had to do. I was in the same boat as you freshman year. Like, I know you gotta fight, you gotta claw, you gotta take what you could get, but you gotta make positive plays when you out there. Stuff like that, like decision making. Like, yo, this is what he mean when he wants you to do this. I was lucky to have that. To make things make sense. Like, yo, nah, coach really messing with you. He gave you opportunity to do this. Nah, he challenging you to do this because we need this right now. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Right.
And being able to be open and receptive enough helped me grow so much more. But that was an immaturity that I came into it with, But like you said, just being able to recognize that you are just as important, even though you're not the guy who's the headline person. I think there's more value, and you see longevity, ironically, from someone like Jared Dudley, right, to make that comment. If you look at his career, he hasn't been a marquee player ever in his career. But he's always been on teams that have performed well, and that says something about you. If what teams you go to, no matter how significant you think the role is or how minimal you think the role is, it's how are you impacting that team? Does it result in W's or losses? Is it a good morale to have you on the team? There are guys who are making money in the NBA right now because they are good morale guys. They come to practice with a focus. They come to practice, they're positive. They're always where they're supposed to be. When the flight says this, they're there first. They're already prepared. They understand the scouting report, the process of what you need to do. So these things are important. While that role you may think is insignificant because it doesn't show up on a scoreboard, it's significant to the overall culture and impact that you have on a team. And that's important. And that's a role to be played. Understand that.
Absolutely, man. I mean, and that just leads us into the next one is like what separates championship teams from good teams. And it's those things that you were just mentioning. Like both of us were able to experience coming into situations where we had that leadership in front of us being able to tell us like, yo, this is why coach is yelling at you, right? Mm-hmm. One, because he believes in your ability and he's just trying to challenge you, right? Or, listen, when he's telling you to do this, this is what you need to do. Or, yo, keep your head up, man. It's going to be okay. Like, coach likes you. You're going to play. Just keep getting better. When you have guys in those situations that can lead you to make the right decisions and get better, it speaks value. It speaks value. When you got guys that have been there before and they can share their experiences with you, it speaks value, man. And it helps the growth of individuals. When you got leadership, when you have teamwork, when you have chemistry, when you have everybody on the same page and everybody's after one goal, it starts to create that championship pedigree. It starts to create that championship aura. That actually, like when you're in those situations, like, because I've been on teams where it hasn't been that way, and I've been on teams where it has been that way. And when it's not like that, you really dread coming to practice. When it's like, oh man, like we gotta go to this BS. Like, oh man, look at them. They ain't serious over there. Look at them joking around. Like, man, we gotta do this again. Like, that's just negativity, man, and that can't be involved in championship teams. But when you're excited to come to practice because you want to improve, you want to get better, and you want to take steps towards your goals, it's fun. It makes basketball fun. It makes competing fun. And when you got the talent to match that, again, that's when good things happen. That's when championship teams are formed. That's when you're able to go on runs. And this goes for all levels, man. This ain't just for the top level. This is from the lowest levels on up. Mm-hmm. That's why sometimes you see young groups stay together and go to the same high school because they have learned what that means at an early age. They've learned what winning means. They've learned what their role is, right? They've all bought into that, and they want to continue to continue to take that to the next level. So you'll see kids, 3 or 4 or 5 of them go to the same high school. They want to keep their group together, right? Yeah. They want to keep that winning mentality together. So yeah, man, like, and that's the separation. I've been on teams where we've been really good, but we've lacked one or two things. And those one or two things that we lack, we just can't get over the hump, right? Whatever those were, whether it was leadership, whether it was one or two people weren't bought into what was going on, like those few things just made us a good team.
Right.
We weren't bad. We just weren't the team. We weren't that team to go make a run at a chip. You know, we were just a good team. So those are some things that separate.
Nah, I agree, man. I've been on some bad teams, and thankfully I've been on some good teams. So having been on bad teams, you recognize very quickly that there isn't a sacrifice, right? So there is this ego. There is this individual, I don't want to say like just selfish mentality, just selfish approach towards things. You know what I mean? And again, like I said, it's understanding the importance of the little things, and in a higher level, high school, I would say begins that. But, obviously in the college, it's every little thing matters. How you do things matter. The small things matter. How you address your athletic trainers matter. How you get ready for practice, what you wear to practice matters. Those types of small things like that, being somewhere on time matters, and when, again, you have people who are with a championship mindset, it's like, they're making sure that they're punctual. They operate differently. They're more organized. They get things done. They're always making things seem like they're able to be engaged in, just knowledgeable about things, always like doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? And then lastly, being held accountable. I think that's a huge separating factor in the championship team from just good teams, is just the ability to do that, the ability to hold yourself accountable for everything that you do, and then hold each other accountable.
Right.
And I think, that's just what it comes down to,
That was a good point, man. Accountability, holding yourself accountable, and then holding each other accountable. That's huge, man. Because when you don't have that, ain't nothing gonna happen. You're just gonna be running amok out there. Nobody's gonna be checking on nobody. Nobody's gonna be checking themselves, and that's a worse and bad situation to play in.
That's a fact. No question about it.
We got next. Here you go. Is loyalty respected anymore in sports?
Not at the professional level, and it never was. You know what I mean? I think that there's guys who could have cashed in on a lot of money and tried to show loyalty and stay within, and it didn't happen for them. But when, I've seen a lot of teams get dudes like a Tracy McGrady and then get rid of them the next year. So there is no loyalty in professional sports. That's why you got to get that chicken. I don't blame nobody for busting the move to go get that chicken. You get all of it that you can. And you get as much of it that you can, guaranteed, and up front. I don't want the back end. Don't try to get me in year 4. You want to pay me this because you want to try to restructure the contract. I ain't stupid. You know what I mean? Then you hold the performance. Nah, give me my bread. Give me my bread up front. You see the goods. You see where I'm at. At the moment. That's what I'm being judged off, and that's what the market says I should be making. Give me that Fetty. And that's why I think Rondo took his behind right on down there to Atlanta and said, give me this $15 million for this 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm about to get about 6 to 7 right up front. You know what I mean? If not 9 to 10 of it up front.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
absolutely. I mean, he got paid, man, as he should.
Right.
I like you said, at this point, it's about getting paper, man. Like them days of dudes like a Kobe Bryant was rare. 20 years with one team. Dirk Nowitzki, 20 years with one team. Like, but that don't happen anymore.
That team was showing them love, though. That those organizations that you speak of made them the guy. They did show. Cuban
Right.
showed Dirk loyalty. He went after and tried to build championship teams. When Kobe threatened, they went and built him a champion, gave him some pieces to win the championship. So I think but at the same time, you know, I don't always think that we've operated from, the right mindset either. We paid a lot of people we shouldn't have paid and had to fire a lot of people that we shouldn't have fired. So I just think professional sports and all that crap is whack, bro. Get your bread, man. I don't care.
Absolutely. Because they're going to do that to you. They're going to say, look, man, look, we got a deal here over here with and they'll put you somewhere you don't want to be, and they don't care. It's about the dollar. It's about them making the moves that they see fit for themselves.
Listen, when you outperform the contract, they don't want to pay you. When you underperform the contract, they want to take money away from you. So,
or get you out of here.
like I don't understand that, man. So it's no way for these dudes to get paid. But I mean, I think I'm speaking a little bit more about football than I am basketball. I think basketball, just because of the monies that these guys are able to be made, not only just from the organizations, but on their own, just through endorsements and stuff, I think has tremendously, swayed guys from not even joining teams, signing with teams for large amounts of money, primarily because of that fact. I could get money elsewhere. But loyalty ain't respected in sports at all, bro.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think it comes down to people want what people want. And that might not coincide with what you want as a player.
No question.
All right, here we go. Running through the six with my whoa.
You know what I mean? Damn, I'm kind of taken off guard by it because I didn't necessarily know of one.
It's all right, man.
Go ahead.
I just be thinking about anything like, so I got a story when we were in PAL Nationals. All right. We were in, I think, Jacksonville. Was it Jacksonville? I think it was Jacksonville. And for those of you that don't know what PAL National was, I mean, it was kind of AAU before AAU.
Mm-hmm.
It was just all the PAL Police Athletic League teams throughout United States. One city was the pick for destination, and you all go there and you just compete and be all different grade age groups.
Mm-hmm.
I think it started as low as 10 and under and went up all the way up.
Yeah, I think it's 5th grade to 9th grade to like 5th grade to high school, something like that.
Yeah, 5th grade to high school. And so I remember, matter of fact, I'm lying. It wasn't Jacksonville. It was Pottstown. And I was on the younger team. I was on 14U team. And we had the championship game. It was us and the older team both had the championship game the next day. So we had a curfew, right? And us being young kids, when we go out of town, what do we want to do? We want to find some girls. We want to mess with the girls. Because at the same time, they had the girls teams playing too. So with just any young high school teenager, that's what we wanted to get into. So we had a curfew. That night. And Coach knew what we were up to. He knew what we were up to. We were like, all right, curfew. We're going to act like we in our rooms. We're going to wait some time. And then we're going to hop in this taxi and we're going to go to the girls' hotel, right? So when we get there, it was like 5 of us from the younger team. When we get there, there was like 6 or 7 from the older team already there. They beat us there, bro. They was already there. They already knew what we were doing, whatever. So, we all split up in different rooms. And it was one of those like motel types where you could walk along and there's the rooms. You walk on the balcony and we were just all in between different rooms or whatever. So we had to be there for like a good hour. And the next thing you know, somebody running the room, boom, 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 boom. Yo, coach is here, coach is here. Like, what? How he know where we at? But again, you know, they coach knew what it was. Like, he knew what we were up to. Like, he here, and he at this point knocking on doors, boom, boom, boom. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And he was out there in the van, so he ain't take no taxi. He came to get us. So we like, ah, man. So one by one, we coming out, and it's funny because we start like everybody start telling on each other. Oh, they in that room down there. They over here. So coach, and that was both coaches from both teams. So it was the older team coach and the younger team coach. It was Coach Rob. Coach Rob wasn't coaching at that time. It was Coach Cornell and Coach Sean and Coach Rex for the older team. And so in the one room was the older kids, and they coming out. And my boy Brian, he decided he didn't want to leave, so he hides behind the curtain. He's hiding behind the curtain, and he's standing on the windowsill, and he's standing there, and he almost got away with it, bro. We leaving, and coach was rounding everybody up, and he was like, all right, making sure everybody's there, and somebody just flat out snitched on him. I'm like, yo, did you check behind the curtain, coach? Because Brian's there. And coach go, and Brian's just standing there like this behind the curtain, just looking at coach looking at him, and coach grabbed him up and like, let's go. And that was just a crazy, funny moment. And we had to run like suicides and do push-ups after that before the game the next morning. And you know how our coaches got down. But that was just a funny moment, man, of just being a young kid at a basketball tournament, out of state. And you know how young kids are, what we want to get into at that time. But the funny part was like the moment we got caught, fingers started pointing, and people was telling them, "Hey, in that room, did you check over here, coach?"
Ain't nobody getting no love. Nobody.
Nobody. If I ain't getting none, you ain't getting none. We all out of here.
Right.
We all going through push-ups together. So shout out them pal days, man. They were some fun times.
Man, I don't have one, man.
It's cool.
Thank you for sharing. I don't.
It's cool, man. It's cool. You're gonna have one next week. You're gonna have a crazy story from the next week.
I'm gonna think.
Because we got stories.
I'm gonna think. Yeah, I know I do, but don't got any right now to the top.
Nice. Well, I think that wraps us up, bro.
Player points.
Oh. What you got for us for player points today?
Man, some of you guys, man.
Some of you guys,
man. So I was talking to someone about a player, and I was saying that this was a pivotal time for that player to have made more of a commitment to the training process, because it's created so much results for you, but it hasn't created the result that you're looking for in terms of playing at the varsity level, right? And my belief is that you know that, but you still haven't made the decision to be like, you know what, I can't just be training one time a week. I gotta be training 2-3 times a week. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're on the cusp of, you've made so much progress, but you gotta know that you gotta take that you've done to receive this amount of progress, and you gotta work that much harder to get where you're trying to go, you know? And right. Because I haven't seen that from them, it's kind of like, well, if you don't get where you're trying to go, then it's because you haven't put the necessary time in. You've just been doing the same thing, right? And it's just like going to the gym and just doing curls with 15-pound weights. After a while, it's not gonna do anything for you anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? So for players that are in this time now where, I know in the state of New Jersey, things have been pushed back to January as a start time. And you're going to have a limited time between the start of what would be your tryouts to your first game. So I caution many of you to utilize this time very wisely, to make sure that you're using 8 weeks time to work on the different areas that you need to work on, whether it be ball handling, conditioning, shooting the basketball, finishing around the rim. You need to really, really, really lock in. 8 weeks is a significant amount of time if you utilize it properly, that you can, prepare yourself adequately to hit the ground running. Because some of you guys may have had some momentum from September playing a little fall ball, and things have kind of started to reduce themselves with the restrictions that have been implemented. So I think it's very important that you make sure that you're still continuing to, I would say, ramp up your training process and regimen as you prepare for your season.
Absolutely. And I'm going to quickly just, touch on that, what you said. You made a great point last week. You work, and especially when you're younger, those leaps and bounds don't happen overnight. They don't happen like, yo, I've been working out for a month, I should be doing all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You see gradual growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's gradual. And you have to have the ability to just continue trucking forward
Mm-hmm.
and keeping focused on whatever your goal is. Because what happens is that gradual, they keep building. And then you can look back over time and see where you came from. In this game, there's just no instant. It's not instant coffee. It's not instant oatmeal where you just add water. I'm adding my trainer. I got a trainer. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I'm nice. It don't work that way.
Right.
Different players grow at different rates. Different players grasp concept quicker than others. Some need more time to work on something. The whole purpose is just to build your foundation. And if you don't focus on the foundation, the entire thing will crumble. Or as you get older and athleticism and skill start to catch up, because maybe you're a younger player that you're just taller and more athletic than people, when skill and that starts to even out, you're not going to have a foundation because you didn't continue to work on those things.
Mm-hmm.
So for you young players out there, there's no instant. Just work. If you have a goal, don't let anyone deter you from that goal. Keep working until it happens. And it might not happen in year 1, year 2, year 3. It might happen year 4. Year 4, you might see the growth. You might see the bigger picture. Like, wow, damn, my freshman year, I was shooting 25%. Now I'm shooting 45%. Damn, in 4 years, I've went up 20%. And that's because I just continuously worked and worked and worked. And I didn't care anything about work, about anything else but the work. And like you and I both know, when you engulf yourself with the process, the goal is going to take care of itself. The prize, the end is going to you're going to get there, right? But what happens is, as you continue to grow, the goal is always going to start changing. It's going to start going to a higher point where you just want to keep reaching and reaching and reaching. That's why greats become greats, right? That's why even the guys that are on top of their game, they're always working at something else, because there's always room for improvement. So for you young players out there, don't get discouraged when you don't see the growth right away. This goes to parents too. You just can't go to a trainer and say, yo, fix my kid, and expect that to happen instantly. That's not what we're in the business to do. We're in the business to help you grow. And again, we say we got over 25 years of experience. Well, that happened in 25 years. We didn't get 25 years of experience in 1 year. It happens over a period of time. So for your parents out there, for your kids out there that are seeking help, don't look for the instant results. Look at the bigger picture, and look for the growth over a period of time.
No doubt. I can't agree with you more. Again, just to kind of add a little bit, I just think that one thing that players need to realize is you do have to take things to another level. You have to move from, you know, your rookie level, and you got to move towards varsity in terms of how you approaching the game, and what you're doing to prepare yourself. You know, a lot of you guys, you want to be D1. Well, you should be working on your body. Look D1, right? When it comes to, guys wanting to, and girls wanting to, be a better impact player. What does that mean? I've heard that said, but what does being a better impact player mean to you? I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're right. I just want to know, let's be more defined in what we're trying to accomplish here. What are we explaining here? What are our goals? And you need to be more goal oriented as you get higher. If you're a junior in high school, at this point, you should have already made a decision on what your commitment is in whatever sport that is. And at that point should be a point at which you are constantly working at that craft. You should be that engaged in what you're doing. So, parents, support them, support your kids, support what they're saying. They may not necessarily, I just think it's just really important. Too many times I run into kids and they say they want to, when we're talking and I ask them what their goals are largely different than what their parents say their goals are. Right. I've seen kids, speak in front of their parents and have their parents virtually speak for them. And I can see how there's a change in like just body language, just mood, just, all of that. So I just think that as parents, I know you may think that it's outlandish for your 9 or 12-year-old who's not really gifted at basketball at all to say that they want to play in the NBA. But I think that, what is encouraging to them is that they have something that they want to do, at least at that moment. And I think that you should champion that and just letting them know that like, yo, it's going to be hard. So that means you got to get up. That means you got to go do this. You know what you got to do that. You shouldn't step on that. There's plenty of kids who I've worked with who say they want to play basketball in college. And I've heard their parents say, well, we're not worried about them playing in college. And it's like, you're not the one who's playing, so you gotta, they hear that, and that does stymie some confidence within them to approach things at the level necessary in order to accomplish it, because they buy into what you're saying. And that's the sad part, that you could be deterring your kid from the very thing that they would love to be doing. So that's my player and parent point. You heard me.
Big facts, bro. Well, that brings us to another completion of an episode, bro.
Yep, I'm done, man. Got no more to talk about this week. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. As always, man, we appreciate you guys. Been getting good feedback over the week. People have been reaching out now asking about possibly coming on. I got a few people asking me about some topics that they would like to hear about. So our community is growing. That is to you guys out there that have been tuning in and listening. If you have any questions, you want us to talk about certain topics, if you want to be a guest on the show, please DM at the Hoop Chat 247. We will respond. We're glad for you guys to give us feedback. That's what we're looking for. And as we continue to grow, you guys are a part of that. So please reach out. We appreciate you guys. If you don't want to reach out on the Hoop Chat, you could hit my man over here at Mars Basketball. Or you could hit me at Coach Nelly, Coach W. Nelly. We will get back to you. I'm gonna plug my man in. Go cop some merch.
Yes, sir.
He's got some good things that just came out. Go check it out. I'm always in support. I know you guys can't see, but I got my Mars socks on right now. I will be getting some hoodies because hoodie season is upon us. It's getting cold out. So go support my man right there, marsbball.com.
Appreciate you, man. Blessings, peace to all of y'all, man. Thank you for tuning in. Like he said, we are thankful for all the comments. If you want to be on, make sure you hit those proper channels, Instagram, so on and so forth. We just gonna keep it moving. Happy Turkey Day to everybody out there.
Turkey.
To you and your families. And let's just pray for all of those people who may not have a meal to eat on that time, and just let us be thankful for making it to this point in the year, in such a tumultuous year. So make sure that even if you're not gonna go see your family, make sure you give your family a call, man, and just say one kind thing that you're thankful for that person. That's all I'm asking for you to do over this Thanksgiving, and just check in with your family.
Absolutely. And remember, be a forever learner.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
We want to welcome everybody to the Hoop Chat. Excited about this topic right here, dog. Let's go.
I learned how to win in college.
Process, right?
Absolutely. Separate the men from the boys. It will separate the real from the fake. It will separate the committed from the uncommitted, who really loves the game and who really don't.
Your network equals your net worth. 25 years of experience.
Oh, man, yeah, let's get to work. Let's get to work.